back. So we are starting out with our Boujie Glitter Boutique subscription box. Now all of these colors came in the subscription box that came out in May, and I got them and immediately was inspired. I had promised my friend that I was going to make her a new water bottle for her salon, and she wanted something bright and summery, and when I saw these, I was like, oh my gosh, I know exactly the combination we're going to do here. I wasn't 100% sure how it was going to work, but I knew with those beautiful, gorgeous neon colors, we were going to be in business. Now, these all came in the box, but they are available for purchase individually now. The website is there. Paxton 10 will get you 10% off. And she has absolutely gorgeous, made in America, comes in the bottle, glitters, great prices. Please go and check them out. So let's get started. Now, I have a tutorial where I did 2 of these bottles like this, these spray bottles, and I went into extensive detail on how I attached them to my turner and all of that. I will link that down below so you can watch just, the beginning of it if you want. You can get inspiration from it or whatever you want to do. And like I said before, I was not 100% sure if I was going to do stripes or if I was going to put that all over and then put stripes of glitter. And so I was kind of going through the different motions of like, okay, I could do stripes and I could do this, I could do that. And then I was like, okay, you know what? Because I was asking my friend too, like, do you like these particular colors or do you like all of them? And she's like, I love all of them. And I have this BAMF Custom Designs transparent vinyl that I was like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some stripes and pull in that white glitter in the middle and then wrap this in that leopard print, and it's going to be so cute. And so it all just kind of came together, but it did take me a minute. I was doing some math trying to figure out how many lines it would take, and then it just all came to me. So as you can see, I have painted this white. I took it outside. I put some electrical tape at the very top because there's kind of like some threads there that the pump, the spray bottle part of it screws into, and I didn't want to mess that up or get it gooped up with paint or epoxy or whatever. So I wrapped that up, and then I put my bottle cap on there, and this is the Dasani bottle cap. That's very key because there was not very many that would work as far as the thickness and would screw on top of there, and then it screws on top. Now this is for a 3/4 or well, I mean, mine's a 3/4. If you have something else, I do not know how to help you, but they have attachments and things like that at some places. But anyways, enough with that. You can watch the other video and learn all about it. So I divided it up. I put a 1-inch sticky double-sided tape on the bottom there, and I just kind of measured it from the bottom, a 1 inch up, and then put that there. And then on the top, I just kind of used it as soon as I could it was straight enough for me to go all the way around. So I didn't really measure if it was an inch. It's obviously a little bit more, but I knew I couldn't do it, too far up on that curve. So I just kind of did it as far down as I could. And then I used a little bit of acrylic paint here, and I got it on that double-sided tape, but no big deal. You can just wipe it off. And I have clothes that specifically are for crafting, and I'm just wiping it on my shirt because that's what I do. So I put the base coat down, and then I went back with a little bit of paint, the same color paint that I used before, and I put a little bit of the CrystaLac glitter glue in there. Now, then I just kind of rubbed it around and made it like, a paint / glue, and it worked beautifully. Excuse me, it worked beautifully. And then after that, I just doused it in glitter and went on to the next. But can we take a moment and talk about this lime green bright glitter, and then let's just take a close-up of it. It's so beautiful. Anyways, so let's carry on. So then the next one I was going to do on the pink here, and I put a little bit of the acrylic paint, and then I put some of the CrystaLac glitter glue, and I rubbed that in and got another coat of paint and plus glue, and then I doused that in glitter as well. And we can also take a moment and look at this beautiful pink. Yeah, these were bright, beautiful neons. So I was very excited about these. I love working with neons. But anyways, so I just went ahead and brushed off as much of that glitter off of those double-sided tape there. And then we're going to peel those off. And we are going to pour the rest of our glitters on there. So I'll be perfectly honest, I was going to do the pink, orange, and then yellow and green. I was going to try to keep it in like a rainbow color. But I just picked up the yellow and went to town. And then afterwards I was like, I wasn't supposed to put yellow here. I was supposed to put orange, but oh well, it's done now. Nothing I can do. But I really do like the pink and the yellow together. And look at that yellow. I mean, how bright can that yellow be? Okay, I won't do this again. I'm sorry, but it is so pretty. It's so bright neon. Anyways, I will knock it off. And then the orange, which is also absolutely gorgeous. The orange, really, I'm not a big orange fan, but this orange was like outrageously bright and gorgeous. That I was very, very pleased with this whole set. And sorry, but we're going to take one more look at the bright neon. Yeah, one more look. Okay, I promise that's it. No more after this. Okay, so the middle, we had already painted the whole thing white, right? So we're just going to go in with some white paint. So just to make sure that we've got a good white base here, and then we're going to put our glitter glue in there as well. We're going to give it a good coat all the way around. And then, once again, we're going to douse it in glitter. So this is called Ice Princess, and it is a stunning iridescent. It gave the back part of this transparent leopard vinyl stuff that we used such an amazing glow. Sorry, I did it one more time. I had to because look, it's so gorgeous. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I was having a little too much fun with these glitters. Anyways, so what I did here was I wanted to make sure that these glitters were a lot more vibrant. They were pretty vibrant, okay, don't get me wrong. But I wanted just a touch more of that glitter look, and I just wanted to make sure that it met the same kind of depth and all that, and the color saturation that the rest of the bottle matched. And you'll want to make sure that, especially if you're doing something with these like certain size of lines here, to use something, a brush, a paintbrush that is a good size that can kind of fit right in those lines, because you don't want to use something too big and then you're putting glue outside of the lines and putting glitter outside of where you want it to go. This top part here, I will say that I was a little more precise in the way that I got it up next to the, inside the very top there. I wanted to make sure that it was going to the top, but this is sped up, so don't think I'm doing it this fast. I was being very slow and meticulous so that I could get, as much glitter of that color glitter up into that where the top screwed on. And I just went through and did this with all of the colors, except for the white. I felt like the white had a pretty good saturation with the white underneath, and then putting the white paint and then the white glue, and the glue, I thought, and it was going to be covered up. So all we needed it to have was a pretty good sparkle and pretty good base, and then we were gonna be good there. So I just went in with all of the other 4 colors and put more glitter glue and then just doused it one more time. So it takes about 2 hours for this glitter glue and stuff to dry. So I just let it sit, and many hours later, probably the next day, I went outside and I sprayed it very, very good with the clear gloss spray. Any kind of spray you have, matte, clear spray, whatever you have, any kind of sealant, it's going to help that glitter not move. Now, I did, in order to make sure that we were not letting it move too much was that I was doing just kind of like the lightest color to the darkest color. So I started off with the white, and then I went into the yellow, and vice versa. I mean, not vice versa, so forth and so on. And as you saw there at the top, make sure you really get that epoxy into that top part so that you can cure, you know, get all of that glitter covered with the epoxy. So I got this transparent vinyl in one of the BAMF Custom Creations box, the subscription box. And I really wanted to use this, but I didn't know, you know, kind of how to make it work. But as soon as these neons came and she wanted leopard, and it all came together, and I really thought that the color in this was just like subtle enough to kind of give it some fun, but you know, not just be like crazy bright, but then the glitters can be bright. Anyways, I thought it really went well. The colors really read well all together. And you're going to treat this just like a vinyl wrap. You know, you're going to pop the bubbles, you're going to, you know, trim the backside there to, you know, get the excess off. And then we went right into a coat of epoxy after this, because I wanted to seal this in so that we could go in with our pinstripes and with our decal. So I was using just some holographic stuff that I had in my drawer. I think anything, you know, anything would really go with this, because you've got a lot of colors going on here. You could even do like a rainbow effect if you wanted to. But my friend had a water bottle that I made for her like a year ago, and I had to make her a little tag, because when the person came in, whatever, they came in, that you had to have the bottle labeled as to what it was. And so I said, well, you know, I can make this a lot funner the next time and make something, you know, that actually says water on there, and it's not an ugly tag that we added on after the fact. So I went in and found this really fun font, and I'll have everything listed down below as usual. And I used this really fun leopard, like neon kind of, but you really can't tell that it's leopard, but it is a lot of fun with the colors, because they go really well with all the colors that are going on this bottle. I did do these pinstripes a little bit bigger than I normally do, because I kind of had some chunky lines there between, you know, the glue and the painting and just everything. And so I just wanted to make sure we were making this as straight as possible. And so, I'm not sure what I cut them. I just kind of, sometimes I'll just look and I'll be like, man, I want to make it a little bit bigger than that, you know. Make sure you measure all the way around, because I was like, oh, probably 9 will be fine. And I ended up having to do like almost 10 inches because it was actually a lot wider around than I had thought. So, but I always like to have a little excess just in case, you know, so I can pull and stretch and, you know, make sure I get it all the way around. So I did start off on the back side where that line was. You really couldn't tell that much. You could only kind of tell that the color changed a little bit, but I just kind of wanted to keep all the lines there. But honestly, the holographic vinyl, you cannot, you know, once you do this to it, you cannot tell where it ends or begins. Now, I'm always taking this tape off and putting fresh tape on. Now, you can't do that when you are, you know, when it's attached to the arm of the turner and it's turning. So it's not like a hydro or something where you tape off the bottom or whatever, because you can't go in and take this tape off. But as soon as I can, as soon as it is safe for me to touch the bottle, I go in and I take it off and I pull off that tape just to make sure that we don't have any problems with it curing too hard on there. But I really just only tape just those threads underneath. So just, I mean, on the very top. So underneath that, I will get epoxy and glitter underneath there, and that's fine. But I try to kind of keep everything. It's just, if you do these things, like I always say, if you take your time and do these things very carefully in the beginning, you won't have a whole lot of mess to clean up in the end. So then I went in with, I believe it was 2 final coats. I did this coat, and then I went in, did a little sanding, got some things cleaned up, and then I went in with the final coat, and then we have our finished product. And look at that. So adorable. I mean, I tell you what, I wish that we would have been able to do this when I was in high school. If they would have had these cups and epoxy and glitter like this, oh my gosh. It'd have been a game changer. It would have been all over. I would have never had any money like I do now. Anyways, but all of these glitters are available at bougieglitterboutique.com. Everything is listed down below. Look at that shine. It's so gorgeous. Please, if you remake this, tag me. Please join my Facebook group. Please subscribe. Please comment down below. And I will see you next time.